Thanks, everybody. Tammy, are we good to get going? All right, so we're going to get going now. Thanks to everybody who's showed up. Thanks to everyone who's watching at home. My name's Alex Lawson. I'm the Executive Director of Social Security Works. We fight hard to lower the cost of prescription drugs for everyone in this country, and we've made great strides recently. Now, it's ridiculous that it took so long to get Medicare the ability to negotiate lower drug prices, but it did. Why? Because pharma, years ago, corrupted the process in the single most corrupt thing that I've ever heard of in this town. And there's a lot of corrupt things that happen in this town. But what pharma did is they bought a politician, put him in charge of the committee that passed the Medicare Prescription Drug Act, and his sole purpose was to deny Medicare the ability to negotiate lower drug prices. The largest purchaser of drugs in the world, the federal Medicare program, was denied the ability to use its purchasing power to lower drug prices. After this man switched parties to the committee, he passed what he was paid to pass, the non-interference clause, and then you know what he did? Where do you think he went to work? Pharma. $2 million a year. The next day. It was so corrupt they changed the law so that you couldn't do it anymore. That's how pharma plays. Pharma believes that they're above the law. Pharma believes that they can act immorally, do whatever they want, that they have some sort of God-given or who knows what given right to charge whatever they want. And let me tell you what they want to charge. They want to charge prices that are so high so that some people die. They want some people to die so that everyone else is terrified enough and will pay whatever they can afford and whatever they can borrow to keep them and their loved ones alive. That's why we're out here today. That's why we've been out here and organizing for decades. And that's how, with the American people's help, with President Joe Biden, the Democrats in Congress, we passed the ability for Medicare to negotiate prescription drugs. Not all, but some. We're going to have to do better than what we've got right now, but even this little bit that we've got, which is a lot, is too much for pharma. So they're spending all of their money to try to have the courts overturn Medicare's ability to use its common sense purchasing power to lower prescription drug prices. This has been rejected by court after court after court. Why? Because it's ridiculous. No one has the right to charge whatever they want for drugs. No one has the right to hold people's health and lives hostage so that they can afford another golden yacht or whatever they spend their money on. No one has that right. But what pharma knows is that with their unlimited budget, the only thing standing between them and their ability to kill people with high drug prices again is us, the people. And that's why we're out here again today. And we'll be out here until pharma drops the lawsuits. When I say drop, you say suits. Drop. Suits. Drop. Suits. Drop. Suits. Thank you so much. My name's Alex Lawson. And next up, Judy, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
I'll hold this for you. Here, actually, you hold this and push the button, and I'll hold the microphone.
I'll be in front of you.
Good morning. My name's Judy Aiken. I traveled here from Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
What?
There you go.
I did.
Now try again.
Hello?
Yeah. Speak closer and press the button.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. My name's Judy Aiken. I traveled here from Portland, Maine. I worked for over 4 decades as a registered nurse. I've struggled living with chronic illnesses, including psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, causing arthritis flares and painful swelling of joints, and have also had 3 joint replacements. Doctors prescribed Enbrel to mitigate my flare-ups and prevent future joint damage caused by my arthritis. In 2023 alone, I paid over $9,000 out of pocket for Enbrel, necessitating us to actually dip into my retirement to do some much-needed home repairs. No one should have to carry that burden in order to access essential medicines. Thanks to relentless advocacy from patient advocates, the drug industry's ability to dictate Medicare prices is finally ending. Enbrel was selected as one of the first 10 drugs to be negotiated by Medicare. A lower negotiated price for Enbrel in 2026 promises up to thousands of dollars in savings. That's no joke. The lower price allows me to take my arthritis medicine without worry of financial strain consistently and finally address much-needed home repairs. Millions of patients like myself depend on Medicare negotiations to see financial relief from the burden of high drug prices. We urge the administration to defend Medicare negotiations against threats from the drug industry and ensure successful implementation to lower costs for patients and the government. We won't let big pharma greed undermine the progress of this historic prescription law. Patients will continue to mobilize to defend the hard-fought victory of lower negotiated prices inside and outside of the courtroom. Thank you.
You know.
It's good to be here with you, friends. We've been fighting together for a very long time, and we have won some tremendously impressive victories. Here's to you and all of us. It's good to be here today marking what we've won. Medicines are too damn expensive. It hurts our families, it hurts our loved ones, it hurts our health programs, it starves them of needed resources, it makes it harder to expand health care to everyone that needs it. We have to take better care of each other. Americans pay 3 times more than the rest of the world for the same medicines.
Shame.
And they are the reason why, right here, pharma, the lobbyists, the paid lobbyists of the pharmaceutical industry, scheming, soft bribing, now suing our health programs, saying they've got the right to charge us whatever they want, and we're just supposed to pay. Now, we fought and we won generational change. People living with diabetes, heart disease, cancer are going to be better protected. We're going to use that money to expand health care for everyone that needs it, for Medicare price negotiation, a fight 20 years in the making. Will save many billions of dollars for all of us. The new weight loss drugs, diabetes, obesity drugs, they'll threaten to bankrupt our healthcare system unless we stand up. But now they're listed for negotiation. Those prices are going to come down if we stand up.
Yeah.
Now these jokers want to take it away. Almost every pharma company with a drug in the game for negotiation sued our public health programs right away, said we're entitled to your money. They went after our health officials. They have the patent, they say they expect the profit. They think they can shut us down. We're here today to say that will not happen. We're fighting back, all of us together, in the courts and in the streets. We're 200,000 strong and growing. We're filing briefs that say, here is what you're taking away from us. Here is how pharma's price gouging, which is based in nothing except greed, is hurting the American people, is hurting our families. There's no constitutional right to price gouge. There's no constitutional right, no entitlement to just take whatever you want and make us pay whatever you want. We get to fight back. We get to stand up. Imagine Imagine the greed. Imagine the hubris, the arrogance it takes to believe that you can just charge people hundreds of thousands of dollars for a medicine they need when that's got nothing to do with your costs. That's just extracting monopoly profits from all of us. It really makes me ill to think about it. Our government should negotiate more strongly, more aggressively, not less. We should not pay 3 times more than what other countries around the world are paying. So we're going to stand up. We're here to fight back. We're here to take care of our families. Join up with us. Join up with Patients for Affordable Drugs Now, Social Security Works, Public Citizen, all the organizations represented here today. As we say no, as we say drop the suits. We say drop, you say suits. Drop. Suits. Drop. Suits. Drop. Suits. Thanks very much. Woo!
My name.
Sorry, flip it.
Oh, here. Okay. My name is Emma Bella, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 5. Growing up, I watched my insulin rise year after year as I went to the pharmacy with my mother. Now, at 23, I find myself fighting the same battle. For millions of Americans like me, our lives hang in the balance of whether or not we can afford our life-sustaining medication. Every day, people with diabetes go to the pharmacy counter and hear a question that no one wants to hear the answer to. Would you still like to fill it? This is not a luxury. This is survival. No one should be forced to choose between their health and their financial security. And it doesn't have to be this way. Living with type 1 diabetes is hard enough. Affording the medication that keeps us alive shouldn't be. Over the years, as my insurance has changed, I've had no choice but to be stripped from the ability to have the choice of what works best for my body. If I wanted to stay on the insulin of my choice, I would have to pay over $3,000 for just a couple of months of supply. That's not a choice. That's extortion. Like so many in this community, I've delivered insulin and medical supplies to more people that I can count because people's lives depend on it. And quite frankly, I'm exhausted and I'm angry. We shouldn't have to rely on each other to survive when a vial of insulin costs $6 to produce. Over 100 years ago, Frederick Banting sold the patent of insulin for just $1 because he believed that insulin belonged to the world and not to him. Now, if pharma succeeded in overturning these negotiations, it would set a very dangerous precedent. A successful challenge could be used as legal precedent to challenge future laws. And negotiating drug prices is not a new idea. In fact, Medicare used to be able to negotiate drug prices until Big Pharma lobbied to stop it in 2003. Now, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, we can finally start doing this again. Woo! Woo! Pharma argues that this threatens their R&D, but these companies spend more on advertising and stock buybacks. And if really R&D was the reason for high drug prices, why do the first 10 drugs selected for negotiation cost more in other countries? The reality is that the United States is bearing the burden on the cost, while these companies continue to profit. While I may not be on Medicare or Medicaid, this is just the beginning to what we can see as profiting towards our success and being able to afford these drugs. These open the door to a future where prescription drugs are affordable for everyone. And policies like this hold drug makers accountable, something we've gone way too far without. And they deserve a say in what they pay. While pharma is fighting for profits, we are fighting for our lives. Thank you all for coming and standing together, for fighting alongside each other, and demanding that pharma drop the suits. When I say drop, you say suits. Drop. Suits. Drop. Suits. Thank you, Don. I'll pass the Meredith.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Buenos dias. Thank you for coming. I'm glad it's not as cold as it could have been. My name is Meredith Basie, and I'm the Executive Director here at Patients for Affordable Drugs Now. And P4AD was founded by David Mitchell with a vision that everybody in this country should be able to get access to the drugs, the prescription drugs they need at prices they can afford. And I think that's something that everybody here can get on board with, right? Yeah. Am I right? We're not asking that much. 1 in 3 people in the United States of America today cannot afford to fill their prescriptions. 1 in 3. So just looking around, that is a lot of people here. And if it's not you, then you're lucky. It's someone you know, someone you care about, someone you love. We are here because people in that building making decisions about the lives of millions of people, and not just the people in that building, in other big corporate buildings around the country. And as my friends and colleagues have shared, in 2022, patients fought really hard for the drug pricing reforms in the Inflation Reduction Act, in the new prescription drug law, people in our community right here and our other organizations. Now, pharmaceutical corporations are trying to take that law away from us. But I do have some good news, actually, and this is hot off the press. Under the new administration, CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, have announced that they do plan to negotiate with pharma for the next round of drugs. This is huge. We didn't know if that was going to happen or not. So we have to be excited about this opportunity ahead of us, and we are going to work to inspire the new administration to negotiate as hard as possible. We know that the devil is in the details when it comes to negotiation. And we know that the previous administration was able to negotiate lower prices, 22% lower than the previous prices that Medicare had been paying. So we are now calling on the new administration to do an even better job and to lower prices on the next 15 drugs that were just named. These are some of the most expensive and the most commonly used drugs by people on Medicare who need the service. And this will be something that millions of people are going to benefit from, not just today, but into the future. This is about all of us. And if you are not yet on some of these drugs, I am so happy for you. But there is a probability that someone you know, someone you love, will need them at some time. And no one should have to choose between paying their rent or paying for a drug that helps them live a better life. So we are here in front of the HQ of Pharma, which is one of the most important, powerful lobby firms here in the nation's capital, who work to undermine the Inflation Reduction Act, the new prescription drug law. And they have filed a lawsuit along with other pharmaceutical corporations. 10 lawsuits so far have been filed. But let me tell you, while they have millions and millions and millions of dollars on their side, we have the power of the people on our side. So when I say power, you say people, okay? So power.
People.
Who's got the power?
People.
Who's got the power?
People.
Okay, so we are here to deliver over 202,000 signatures of people. Yeah, it's a lot. 202,000 signatures of patients like our friend Judy here and many others in our community, but across every single state in this nation. We have over 35,000 patients who shared their stories with us alone, and 200,000 signatures here of patients and allies, friends, loved ones who are demanding that pharma and their allies drop the lawsuits and allow Medicare to negotiate, which is the law, that they allow the will of the people to continue and that this program continues. So we are here today to deliver these signatures to pharma, if they let us in, if they're not afraid to come talk to us, please come talk to us. We represent so many people in this country, and we know that people, both sides of the aisle, support Medicare negotiation. Over 80% of people support the law. We are here to remind them that they are not above the law and that patients should come before profit. So let's see if we can deliver these signatures and remind them who they should be responsible to. So thank you all for coming. I'm going to hand over to Tammy, and then we're going to see if we can get these signatures delivered. So let's go.
That one. Okay. Other way. Turn it around. Right there.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
This one.
Okay.
Press this one. There you go.
Hi everyone. Oh wow, that's my voice. Hello everyone. Thank you all once again for being here. I'm sure you've heard from wonderful speakers. I also want to reiterate that a lot of us do this work because it is personal. My father is on Jardiance, one of the first 10 drugs that was negotiated, and we know what a negotiated price would do for my family and do for his health. So right now I invite you to join us as we walk over and deliver over 202,000 petition signatures to Pharma. We're just going to walk right to the front of the door if you join us.
Do you need this? Probably not this time.
People over profit. People over profit. People over profit. Bills cost pennies. Greed costs lives. 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 Bills cost. Woo! All right, Pharma, don't be cowards. Come down and receive the voices of the people. Drop the lawsuits. You've lost. It's time. It's time for you to come down and receive the voices of the people.
Can one person go in? Can you come out and
That one is secure. This one is locked.
It looks like Pharma's locked the doors on us because they're cowards.
We'll be quick.
We just want to deliver this. We'll be quick.
If they send somebody down, they can just send a person down to get it.
Can you take that? We just want to deliver this. Oh, they're afraid of the people.
They are afraid of the people.
Just like I said, we're just trying to deliver this petition. It's mailed.
But it's just one person.
It's just paper. Come on.
Drop the lawsuits, Pharma.
Drop your lawsuit.
Drop the suits. Get anywhere.
There you
There you
go.
go.
There you go.
Thank you. We just want to deliver this. We just want to deliver
We just want to deliver the mail.
Okay, well, you and your families are now able to pay for medication in this country. 1 in 3 people can't. But we're going to leave this here for them. And we'll make sure that we follow up by email.
Please. Please.
TJ.
It's just company policy.
Oh, look, right there.
It's all company policy.
Pharma are too scared to come down.
We got in there.
Hey, keep going so loud.
Somebody fixing that up there.
Unfortunately, they're too afraid to hear the voices of patients who they say they care about. But we know that, as I stated before, 1 in 3 people in this country cannot afford their medication, and Americans pay between 4 and 8 times the price of medication than other high-income countries. 4 to 8 times. And today we were here to remind them of the fact that people are struggling, that this is the law, and that pharmaceutical corporations and their days of extreme monopoly power that they have benefited from for the last 2 decades is over. And we are not going to give up. We are fighting pharmaceutical corporations and making sure that we are uplifting patient voices, not only outside of the courtroom, but also inside the courtroom. It is really important that the government hear the voices of patients and that people like my friend Judy get released. Say? Well, that's what pharmaceutical corporations think of patients. We know what they're about, which is making sure that Americans continue to pay more for their medication than any other country in the world. Today we are here just to push back. No, in the end, even if they have all the power, and people in this country are on our side. I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything. Yeah, please.
Just press here. Okay.
I just wanted to say that everybody around here, security, people who work in Big Pharma who threw our petitions away, we are out here for your aunts, your uncles, your grandmas. You, the people inside the office, you might have a prescription drug cost that's hindering your paycheck right now. And we're out here trying to help you all too. So I know this is your job, but these are also our lives. This is your lives with your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle, your little sister, your little brother, whoever. And so while you all act so heartless and you go home tonight thinking about what you all just did, know that we were trying to do something to help the impact of everyday people like you all standing in that lobby right now.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody at home watching on the live stream. Thank you so much. And Pharma, just be sure you know we're not going anywhere. We will be back. We will be back, and we will win, because as Meredith said, they might have the money, but we've got people. We've got people. And people over profits every time. So why don't we walk back out front with just a people over profits. 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 Work if people can't afford them. Drugs don't 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 work if people can't afford them. I think the police have just arrived. We're fighting to lower their prescription drug prices too, and we are just about out of here. So thank you, everybody at home. And we're not going anywhere. We will win because we've got people. Thanks, everybody.